guard girl hid something upon seeing her owner. The owner said, "What did you hide behind your back when you saw me?" The guard girl said, "I didn't hide anything." The owner said, "Don't lie. You hid something when you saw me." The guard girl said, "Trust me." The owner said, "You hid something, show it or I will check myself." The guard girl said, "There's nothing." Then, the owner forcibly snatched a book from her hand. The owner said, "This is a UPSC book? So you are studying?" The guard girl said, "Yes, I study." The owner said, "Then why did you hide the book?" The guard girl said, "I have no choice. Everyone makes fun of me saying I can't study." The owner said, "Studying is a good thing. It's people's nature to talk. Okay, can I ask you something?" The girl said, "Please ask." The owner said, "You are working this job and also studying. I don't understand this." The girl said, "I have no choice because my father is sick, so I work here and also study along with it." The owner said, "That's a good thing that you care so much for your family. If you need any help, I can help you too because my daughter is also preparing for UPSC." The girl said, "Okay, I will let you know." Then the owner gave the book back to the girl and said, "Don't be afraid of anyone." Then the owner left. When the owner reached home, she called out to her daughter, "Come here, daughter." The daughter said, "What happened, Mom?" The mother said, "Give me your books." The daughter said, "What will you do with them?" The mother said, "Our guard girl is preparing for UPSC. I thought I'd give these books to her." The daughter said, "How will that guard girl pass the test?" The mother said, "Our job is to help. After that, it's up to her whether she works hard or not." The daughter said, "Okay." Then she went inside, and after a while, the daughter gave the books to her mother and said, "I only have these books." The mother said, "I'll go give these books right now." After a little while, the owner reached the girl and gave the books to the guard girl and said, "I only had these books." The girl said, "I really needed these books. How will I ever repay your favor?" The owner said, "It's not about repayment. This was just written in your destiny." The girl said, "Everyone makes fun of me, but you are a good person because you helped me so much." The owner said, "I want you to study and become a great person and be able to take care of your family." The girl said, "I will study wholeheartedly and show you by becoming an officer." Then the owner said, "Okay, be happy. I'm leaving." Then the owner left. Many days later, someone knocked at the owner's gate. The owner's daughter opened the door, and that same guard girl said, "Is your mother at home?" The daughter said, "Yes." Then the daughter called out to her mother, "Mom, someone is here to see you. Please come out." When the owner came out, the guard girl greeted her. The owner said, "You are here?" The daughter asked her mother, "Who is this?" The mother said, "This is the one I gave your books to." The daughter said, "That guard girl?" Then the owner asked the girl, "How is your work going and your studies?" And that girl said, "I am not a guard anymore. Instead, I have become a government officer all because of you. Since you gave me the books, I worked hard and became an officer." The owner said, "It was only your hard work. Helping you was just my duty." Then the girl said, "It's your kindness, and today I have brought sweets for you." The owner said, "We shouldn't talk all this at the gate. Please come inside." The girl said, "I have a lot of work. I will come another time and we can talk more then." The owner said, "Okay." Then the girl expressed her thanks and left. A like is a must for this kind-hearted owner who, by giving books to her poor guard girl, helped her become a great officer.